Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this is the third episode of the Sovereign of the Seas, or the building of the Sovereign of the Seas. So in this episode we're going to be looking at the magazines 6 to 10 and what you get in them, and then we'll continue with the build of the remainder of the keel and the remainder of the frames. So they'll all be done. So, and then we can come back to finish them tomorrow, because obviously, as last time, the glue will take 24 hours to cure. So let's get started then. So in issue number 6, it basically covers some more of history of the boats, the age of sail, a couple of dioramas, again, nice little pictures of battles, ship battles. And then it continues on to the making of your display stand. If you want to display your stand, that's in the Modeller's Masterclass, which is, it looks quite useful actually. It looks quite interesting if you're having a display. Various ways you can display your models. I have the actual stand which I bought from Deagostini. This one is using pillars. So you get more in more details, and it shows you how to fix the pillars into the model using screws and threaded nuts. So in this one you also get more frames. So these are frames number 20 and 21, and the side ridges, and it will go for the instructions of how to put that frame together. Also shows you some more instructions for the fitting of the small blocks to the cannons. So that's issue number 6. So issue number 7 that we've received, again, history of age. You'll get the history of age of sail, sorry. It also shows you about a ship called the Rivoli, which is a 74 gun ship. Nice details on that one. And then in the masterclass it goes on about various glues for the modelling, such as your PVA glues, your wood glues, your super glues, etc. Gives you various different options in relation to the glues that you can use for the modelling, and the benefits of each of the glues. So in relation to the parts that you get some more rib frames. In this one you get the back part of the stern of the keel, which is one of the last parts, and you get the bracing blocks as well. I'm not sure if you can see that. So the 2 bracing blocks, the keel, the stern part of the keel, and then the frame for number 22. So, and again, it shows you how to join those to complete that frame. So that's issue number 7. So moving on to magazine number 8. In this one it gives you more history of the age of sail. I think it's focusing on Henry VIII as well, which is quite interesting. A diagram or model of a ship, the Palinuro, which is an Italian training ship, 3-mast ship. And then in the masterclass section of the magazine, it just basically gives you your basic equipment. So this is what was we went over in the first episode. So it covers like your files, your sanding paper, your rulers, etc. cutting equipment, and your clamps, and then any other bits of equipment that you may require. The actual items you get in this magazine is for the ship's launch, which is one of the smaller boats which go on the ship. So like the cannons, I'm not going to build this straight away because I don't really want to leave a completed small boat just laying around not for quite some time, just sitting in one of my storage. So with this one, I'm going to leave it, but in the magazine you get the it's an assembly jig basically. The frames that you get on each of the for the boats, you get the smaller details like the bow formers, and various elements, and the rudder there as well. You also get those. The magazine goes through how to assemble the jig and what you'll require, cutting everything out. So you're basically left with, if you can see in the image, you're basically left with almost like the skeleton of the launch. But as I said, I'm not going to be doing that in this until I'm ready to build it. With the Victory that I did, there were 4 boats, miniature boats. I did the first one at the beginning, and then it was just left for quite a few years, waiting to be actually fitted onto the actual Victory itself. So what I'm going to do is put those to one side. We'll come back to those when we're ready to fit them. So in issue number 9, there's a bit more of the history of sail. So it talks about Elizabeth I and the expansion of the fleet, and then also more on the Italian training ship that was mentioned in the previous issue. Okay guys, so for issue number 9, what do we get? So in this, it basically explains more of the age of sail, and from Elizabeth I and the expansion of the fleet. There's also some more information on the Italian training ship mentioned in the previous magazine, and more details of that. In the masterclass, it also goes on about aligning the frames. So although you've got a frame alignment if you've built it in one of the previous magazines, this actually does give instructions. So if you have some square blocks, make sure they are fully square, cut them into sections. They can be placed either side of the keel onto the frames. That will ensure that the frames are going to stay aligned, because if you accidentally move one of the frames and it breaks the glue, it could twist the frame, which we don't want. So that will give you basically an idea how to align the keels and the frames correctly. It's just an extra bit of security for you to make sure that they are fully aligned. Since my last episode, I've also bought some, since episode 1, I've also bought some new clamps, which are these type. So they're longer than the clamps that you would normally get. So as you can see that, they are longer. So you can actually go further down onto, if you need to go further down, and you're restricted to space, so they're quite useful. The items that you get in relation to the magazine this time, so you've got one more frame, number 26, and then you've also got the frame supports, number 26 and number 27, and obviously the supports that go up the side. You've got this part here, it's a transom support, so that is also in there, and then you've also got these transom supports here, so that'll all fit in there. The transom is the bar that goes at the back of the bow, or of the keel, so it's the end part which you're going to be making, which is going to form the gallery, etc., at the rear of the ship. You've also got a little bit of brass grating, it's like a mesh. That is for use on the the launch, so that will be used in conjunction with this. So what I will be doing is putting that into the storage, used at a later point. So that is it for number 9. And finally, number 10. In this, it talks again the naval guns on the sailing ships, roughly how big they are, the type of gun that they're called, and then the actual weight of the actual shot they use. We've got the Darwin ship, the HMS Beagle, which is a nice little model that we have, diorama I think they're called. And then we also have more of ways of applying the PVA and the aliphatic glues. So explains about the nozzles. So you want a nice even flow. Too little, obviously you're gonna have problems, and again too much, you're just going to be spreading the glue. So you want a nozzle with a nice clean line, or you can use a paintbrush as well, which is really good. So in this one, what do we get? We get the bow sprites. So this is the part that's going to go at the very front of the ship, the bow, which comes out. And then you've also got these supports and the brackets which go along the bow sprite, and that will tell you how to do that one. The magazine also goes into the actual planking of the launch. So this is where you'd start actually fitting the planks, small planks onto the launch to start building it up as you go in relation to that. But I say that's going to be a later project for when we are ready to actually fit the launch. I'm not sure if there's going to be 1 or 2, but I say they will be all be done together, so they're all ready to go on at the same time. So now let's get on with the continuing of the building.